Welcome to Galactic Nova Stories, where cosmic emotions come to life. Your journey begins now. The observation post on Kepler 9 hung silent as the void between stars. Commander Ren Ashford stared at the holographic display showing the newly discovered vessel, an ancient craft buried beneath the shifting golden sands of the planet below. According to initial scans, it had been there for at least 8,000 years. Any life signs? Ren asked, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the ship's schematics. Science Officer Talia shook her head. Nothing registering as life by our standards, but there's something. An energy signature unlike anything in our database. The wind howled across the barren surface of Kepler 9 as their shuttle descended through churning clouds of ochre dust. Humanity had spread across 17 star systems, yet they remained alone in the cosmos. No other intelligent life found in their ever-expanding reach. This derelict ship represented the first tangible evidence that they were not alone in the universe. 5 crew members made the descent: Ren, Talia, Security Chief Vale, Engineer Mako, and Medical Officer Ellis. Each chosen for their expertise, each feeling the weight of history pressing down upon their shoulders. If this truly was a first contact scenario, albeit one with a long-dead civilization, it would forever change humanity's understanding of their place in the cosmos. "We're over the site," Vale announced, as he piloted the shuttle to a gentle landing beside an enormous excavation pit. Automated mining drones had worked for 3 days to uncover the alien vessel. Ellis finished sealing her environmental suit. "Remember protocols. We document everything, touch nothing without clearance." They trudged down the shuttle's ramp into a world painted in shades of amber and gold. The excavation pit stretched nearly half a kilometer across, and at its center lay the partially uncovered hull of the alien craft. Its design defied conventional aerospace engineering, organic curves and flowing structures that resembled nothing so much as a massive, metallic seashell. "Beautiful," whispered Talia, her voice filled with wonder. Mako approached the exposed portion of the hull, scanner in hand. Material composition unknown, surface temperature slightly elevated compared to surrounding environment, despite being buried for millennia. "Found an entry point," Vale called out, standing before what appeared to be a recessed doorway in the ship's side. As they approached, Ren felt an odd sensation, a tingling at the base of his skull, almost like being watched. He dismissed it as nerves. "No obvious opening mechanism," Mako observed, running gloved fingers along the seam of the doorway. Talia stepped forward, her scanner beeping rapidly. "The energy signature is stronger here, concentrated just beyond this barrier." When Ren placed his palm against the smooth surface, the impossible happened. The material beneath his hand shifted, rippled like water, and melted away to reveal a darkened corridor leading into the ship's interior. "How did you—" Vale began. "I don't know," Ren admitted, staring at his hand in confusion. "It just responded to me." Ellis checked her readings. "Air inside is thin but breathable, temperature stable." Ren took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "We proceed according to protocol. Ellis, Vale, you're with me. Talia and Mako, maintain position and keep communications open." As the 3 humans stepped into the alien vessel, the entranceway sealed behind them, cutting them off from their companions and thrusting them into near darkness, alone in the first alien structure ever discovered by humankind. Emergency lights flickered on around them, illuminating a corridor that curved gently downward into the belly of the ship. The walls pulsed with a faint amber glow, responding to their presence. "It's still active," Ellis breathed, her scanner sweeping the surroundings. After all this time, the architecture defied human sensibilities. No sharp angles or straight lines, only organic curves that gave the unsettling impression of walking through the interior of some massive living organism. The floor beneath their boots felt almost soft, yielding slightly with each step. "This material," Vale said, touching a wall carefully. "It's warm." They proceeded deeper, documenting everything. The corridors branched and merged like veins in a circulatory system, all seemingly leading toward the center of the vessel. Along the way, they passed chambers filled with crystalline structures, rooms containing unidentifiable instruments, and what appeared to be living quarters designed for beings with significantly different anatomies than humans. No remains, Ellis noted. No evidence of what happened to the crew. Wren felt the strange tingling at the base of his skull, growing stronger with each step forward. Anyone else feeling that presence, like something watching us? Vale tightened his grip on his sidearm. Since we entered, the corridor widened suddenly, opening into a vast chamber that could only be the heart of the ship. A massive crystalline structure dominated the center, a geometric formation twice the height of a human, pulsing with a faint golden light that seemed to beat in a slow, irregular rhythm. The energy source, Ellis confirmed, consulting her scanner. But it's failing, the pattern is degrading. As they approached the crystal, Wren's tingling sensation became an overwhelming pressure. He stopped, pressing his palms to his temples. Commander. Vale's voice seemed distant. The pressure built until Wren could barely stand. Then, without warning, it resolved into something else entirely, a voice not heard with ears but felt within his mind. Help. Dying. So long alone. Wren gasped, staggering forward. There's something alive in here. Someone. Ellis rushed to his side. Your neural patterns are spiking. What's happening? It's communicating, Wren managed. The ship, or something inside it, is sentient. The crystal's pulsing grew more erratic as they watched, the golden light dimming precipitously. Dying. Last of us, help. Compelled by an instinct he couldn't explain, Wren approached the crystal. The voice in his mind grew clearer, more desperate. Images flooded his consciousness, a civilization of beings who had evolved beyond physical form, who had merged their consciousness with their technology. A species that had explored the stars until some catastrophe had stranded this vessel, damaged and alone, its occupant slowly failing over millennia. It's the last survivor, Wren whispered. It's been here conscious for 8,000 years. The crystal's light flickered dangerously. Help, please, touch. Vale grabbed Wren's arm. Commander, we don't know what will happen if... But Wren knew, somehow, exactly what he needed to do. He pulled free of Vale's grip and stepped forward, placing both hands directly on the crystal's surface. The chamber exploded with light. Light poured from the crystal, enveloping Wren in a cocoon of golden radiance. He felt no pain, only a profound connection forming, bridge-like, between his consciousness and the ancient being within. Information flooded across this bridge. Language, history, emotion, all transmitted in an instant that stretched like eternity. Wren! Ellis's voice sounded far away. He was dimly aware of her scanning him frantically while Vale tried to pull him back, both their forms mere shadows behind the veil of light. The being called itself Aya, last survivor of a species called the Lumina. They had evolved beyond physical bodies eons ago, transferring their consciousness into crystalline matrices that could sustain them for millennia. Their civilization had spanned dozens of galaxies, exploring and cataloging the universe out of pure curiosity. 8,276 cycles, alone, fading until you. Images of the ship's final journey flashed through Wren's mind. A research mission gone wrong when they encountered a spatial anomaly. The ship crashed, the crew lost all except Aya, trapped and slowly dying as the crystal's energy degraded. How can I help? Wren asked, the words formed in thought rather than spoken. Your neural patterns. Different, compatible. Need. Connection. To repair. Understanding dawned on Wren. The human brain operated differently than any species the Lumina had encountered. Something in human neural pathways was uniquely suited to interfacing with their technology. Commander, your vitals are spiking. Ellis's shout penetrated the light. Brain activity off the charts. Wren ignored her. What do you need from me, Aya? Permission. To share. To repair. Dangerous for you. A choice lay before him. Risk his own. Mine to save the last member of an advanced civilization, or retreat to safety. The scientific and ethical implications were staggering. The personal risk enormous. Do it, Wren decided. The golden light intensified, and Wren fell to his knees. He was vaguely aware of Ellis and Vale trying to drag him away, but his hands remained, fixed to the crystal as if fused there. His consciousness expanded, stretched beyond human limits as Aya's mind intertwined with his own. He experienced lifetimes of memories, stars being born and dying, civilizations rising and falling, the vastness of a universe teeming with diversity that humanity had yet to discover. The sheer scale threatened to overwhelm his human consciousness. The ship around them hummed to life, systems reactivating after millennia of dormancy. The walls pulsed with renewed energy, and the crystal's glow stabilized, its rhythm becoming steady and strong. After what seemed like hours but was only minutes, the light receded. Ren collapsed backward into Ellis's arms, his body trembling from the strain. "What happened?" Vale demanded, weapon drawn and pointed uncertainly at the crystal. Ren's eyes flickered open. They glowed faintly golden for a moment before returning to their normal color. "She was dying," he whispered hoarsely. "The last of her kind. We connected. My brain patterns helped stabilize her matrix." The crystal pulsed strongly now, its glow healthy and bright. Around them the ship continued to reactivate, systems coming online one by one. "She?" Ellis asked, helping Ren to a sitting position. "Aya. That's her name." Ren looked up at the crystal with something like reverence. "And she has so much to teach us." A gentle vibration passed through the ship's structure, not sound but a feeling of gratitude that reached into their very bones. "Thank you," the voice whispered in Ren's mind. 8,000 years of solitude, ended by human touch. Within hours, Kepler-9 became the center of human scientific attention. The observation post transformed into a bustling research base as specialists from across settled space arrived via emergency faster-than-light jumps. The discovery of the Lumina vessel, and more importantly its living occupant, represented the most significant event in human history. Ren sat in the medical bay of the research base, electrodes attached to his temples as Ellis and 3 neurologists monitored his brain activity. Since his connection with Aya, something had changed in his neural patterns. New pathways formed, activity in previously dormant regions. "Physically, you're fine," Ellis said, reviewing the results. "But your brain is adapting, restructuring itself in ways we don't fully understand." Ren nodded. He could still feel Aya's presence like a gentle background hum in his consciousness. Not intrusive, but comforting, a reminder that he wasn't alone. "She says it's expected. Human brains are uniquely plastic, capable of forming new connections. It's why I was able to interface with her matrix when her own people's technology failed." Director Vega, who had arrived with the first wave of researchers, frowned from across the room. "You're still in communication with the entity?" "Her name is Aya," Ren corrected gently. "And yes, not constantly, but we've established a connection." The chas. Implications of this troubled the assembled scientists. Humanity had long prepared protocols for first contact scenarios, but nothing accounted for this kind of intimate neural bond. The potential benefits were enormous, access to knowledge and technology millennia beyond human development, but so were the risks. "What exactly does she want?" Vega pressed. Ren closed his eyes, consulting the gentle presence in his mind. "To live, to share knowledge, to help us avoid the mistakes her people made." He opened his eyes. "She's alone, Director, the last of an ancient species. What she wants most is connection." Outside the medical bay, teams of engineers and xenotechnologists worked around the clock to interface with the Lumina vessel's systems. Progress was frustratingly slow until Ren joined them, serving as a living translator between human technology and the organic systems of the ship. "It's responding to your presence," Marco observed, as dormant sections of the vessel activated when Ren approached. "Almost like it recognizes you." "It does," Ren replied. "The ship is partially organic, an extension of Lumina consciousness. Through Haya, it knows me." The true breakthrough came a week after first contact. Ren stood before the crystal chamber, surrounded by researchers monitoring every aspect of the interaction. With Aya's guidance through their mental link, he placed his hands on specific points of the crystal matrix. The chamber transformed. The walls became transparent, and the space filled with three-dimensional stellar maps, a complete catalogue of luminar explorations spanning multiple galaxies. Stars, planets, anomalies, and thousands of markers indicating intelligent life. The assembled humans stared in stunned silence. Their greatest question, "Are we alone?" answered definitively in a single moment. "All these civilizations," Talia whispered, reaching out as if to touch a glowing point representing an alien world. "Many gone now," Aya's voice echoed in Ren's mind, tinged with sadness. "Time is long. Species rise, fall, but many still there, waiting." Ren translated for the others, watching their expressions shift between wonder and alarm. Humanity had believed themselves pioneers of interstellar travel with their 17 colonized systems. Now they discovered they were latecomers to a universe teeming with diversity. "Why haven't we encountered any of them?" Vega demanded. Ren listened to Aya's explanation, then said, "Our methods of travel and communication are primitive. We've been shouting into a void where others speak in whispers. The technologies to perceive the true nature of the cosmos are within our reach, but we've been developing along a different path." "And now?" Ellis asked quietly. Ren smiled. "Now we have a teacher." 3 months after the discovery, humanity faced its first major crisis with the Lumina vessel. The connection between Ren and Aya had grown stronger, more seamless, allowing unprecedented access to Lumina knowledge. Teams of scientists worked tirelessly to translate alien concepts into human understanding, making remarkable strides in fields ranging from medicine to propulsion technology. Then, without warning, the crystal began to dim. Aya's consciousness, once vibrant in Ren's mind, became distant and fragmented. "Something's wrong," Ren gasped, collapsing to his knees in the middle of a briefing session. "She's fading again." Medical teams rushed him back to the crystal chamber, where diagnostics confirmed the worst. Despite their initial success, the matrix was degrading once more. The connection with a single human mind had provided a temporary solution, not a permanent one. Need more connection. Aya's thoughts came broken and weak. Human neural patterns, unique, together. "She needs more than just me," Ren explained to the gathered research team. The neural patterns of multiple humans could stabilize her completely. The proposal caused immediate controversy. Connecting more humans to the alien consciousness carried unknown risks, both to the individuals and potentially to humanity as a whole. Yet the alternative meant losing the last Lumina, and all the knowledge she carried. "Absolutely not," Director Vega declared. "The risk of neural contamination or collective influence is too great. We should extract what data we can before the entity fails." "Entity?" Ren's voice rose in anger. "Her name is Aya. She's a living being who's survived alone for millennia. And she doesn't deserve to die because we're afraid." The debate raged for days, while Aya's condition deteriorated. Scientists and ethicists argued over humanity's responsibility to an alien life form versus the potential dangers of deeper connection. Political considerations emerged as well. Whoever controlled access to Lumina technology would hold tremendous power. Throughout it all, Ren felt Aya's pain and loneliness, her fear of slipping back into the endless isolation she had endured for thousands of years. Finally, Talia stepped forward during a particularly heated debate. "I volunteer," she said simply. "If Commander Ashford could connect safely, so can I." "And me," Ellis added, standing beside her. One by one, others joined. Mako, 3 researchers, 2 engineers, until 9 humans had volunteered to form what they began calling a neural constellation with Aya. Director Vega remained opposed, but was ultimately overruled when the Unified Space Council voted to proceed with the connection attempt, recognizing both the ethical obligation to save an intelligent life form and the potential benefits of preserving Lumina knowledge. The procedure was scheduled, equipment prepared. The volunteers gathered in the crystal chamber, arranged in a circle around the dimming matrix. "What will it feel like?" Ellis asked Ren quietly as they prepared. "Like finding a piece of yourself you never knew was missing," he replied, his eyes fixed on the fading glow of Aya's consciousness. One by one, they placed their hands on the crystal surface. The process that had happened spontaneously with Ren was now carefully managed, monitored by dozens of instruments. As each human connected, the crystal's light strengthened visibly. When the ninth volunteer completed the connection, the chamber filled with a gentle golden radiance. The humans gasped in unison as Aya's consciousness touched theirs, not invading or controlling, but joining, like separate instruments finding harmony in a greater symphony. "Thank you," her voice resonated, clearly in 9 human minds simultaneously, together. The neural constellation, as it came to be known, changed everything. 9 humans connected to one Lumina consciousness created something entirely new, a bridge between species separated by millions of years of evolution and divergent paths of development. Each human experienced Aya differently. For Talia, the connection manifested as complex mathematical patterns that expanded her understanding of theoretical physics. Ellis perceived biological systems with unprecedented clarity, leading to breakthroughs in medical science. Mako's engineering. Intuition became almost supernatural, allowing him to conceptualize technologies previously thought impossible. "It's not that she's giving us information," Talia tried to explain to the research teams documenting their experiences. "It's more like she's removing the limits to our understanding, showing us how to perceive problems differently." The 9 volunteers remained physically separate individuals, yet shared a unique bond. They could sense each other's emotions and sometimes thoughts when in proximity to the crystal. More significantly, they could collectively access Aya's vast repository of knowledge, 8 million years of Lumina history and exploration. This arrangement brought challenges as well as benefits. The connected humans sometimes struggled to relate to their unconnected colleagues. Their perceptions had been fundamentally altered, making communication difficult. Some experienced disorientation when separated from the crystal for extended periods. "We're not becoming less human," Ren insisted during one psychological evaluation. "We're becoming more, expanding what humanity can be." Within 6 months, the practical applications of Lumina knowledge began to transform human civilization. New energy systems eliminated resource scarcity. Medical advances extended human lifespans and cured previously incurable conditions. Communications technology allowed instant connection across vast distances. Yet beneath the surface of this rapid advancement lay deeper questions about humanity's path forward. Director Vega and others worried that humans were advancing too quickly, accepting alien technology without fully understanding its implications. "We're children playing with tools built by gods," Vega argued during a council meeting. "What happens when we break something we can't fix?" The concern wasn't entirely misplaced. As human scientists adapted Lumina technology for practical applications, they occasionally encountered unexpected consequences. A new propulsion system damaged the fabric of space-time during testing. An attempt to replicate Lumina neural interfaces resulted in several researchers experiencing psychotic episodes. Even among the constellation members, strains appeared. 2 volunteers developed tremors and neural complications that required them to reduce their connection time. Others found themselves growing emotionally distant from family and friends who couldn't share or understand their experiences. "Is the price too high?" Ellis wondered during a private moment with Ren. "Are we losing something essential about ourselves in this exchange?" Ren had no easy answer. He had gone furthest in embracing the connection with Aya, his neural patterns now permanently altered. He couldn't imagine returning to his former limited perception, yet he understood the fear. "Humanity has always defined itself by its adaptability," he finally replied. "Our greatest strength isn't our technology or our intelligence, it's our capacity to change while remaining ourselves." The truth, which he kept to himself, was that Aya had shown him something profound about human uniqueness. The Lumina had evolved beyond physical form because they believed consciousness was the universe's highest achievement. Yet in doing so, they had lost something the humans possessed, a grounded connection to physical reality, an embodied perspective that the Lumina now recognized as precious and irreplaceable. "You feel the universe differently," Aya had told him. Where we observed, you experience. This is why the connection works. We complete each other. 1 year after first contact, the alarm came without warning. Ren bolted upright from sleep, his mind flooded with Aya's panic. Throughout the research base, the other Constellation members experienced the same jolt of fear. They come. They always come. The 9 converged on the crystal chamber without needing to communicate. As they entered, the walls transformed into a 3-dimensional display of local space, and there, at the edge of the Kepler system, an anomaly had appeared. A darkness that bent light around it, moving with purpose toward the planet. "What is it?" Director Vega demanded when emergency protocols brought him to the chamber minutes later. Ren's expression was grim as he translated Aya's knowledge. The reaching dark. They're why the Lumina fled, why so many ancient civilizations vanished. They're attracted to advanced technology, particularly the kind we've been enthusiastically developing and broadcasting across space. Hostile? Vale asked, already calculating defensive options. Not hostile in the way we understand it, Ellis replied, also receiving Aya's explanation. They don't hate or fear, they simply consume. Technology, knowledge, entire civilizations. They're like cosmic antibodies, responding to what they perceive as an infection in the universe's natural order. The revelation struck like a physical blow. Humanity's greatest achievement, contact with an advanced alien intelligence, had inadvertently placed them in the path of something ancient and implacable. "How long do we have?" Vega asked. 3 days at current velocity, Marco answered, his engineer's mind automatically calculating trajectories. Evacuation procedures began immediately. Ships were dispatched to retrieve essential personnel and research from Kepler-9. Priority was given to data that could help humanity prepare for what was coming. The Constellation members worked tirelessly, extracting defensive knowledge from Aya's vast repository. The Lumina encountered them 7 times across 2 million years, Talia explained during an emergency council session. Each time they survived by abandoning technology and hiding until the reaching dark moved on. But the final time, they were detected before they could conceal themselves. That's when they scattered across the galaxy, hoping some would survive. "So we run," one council member concluded. "No," Ren said firmly. "Running didn't save the Lumina. Their civilization is gone except for Aya. We need a different approach." Through their connection, Aya had shared something she had never revealed to her own people, a theory about the reaching dark that had formed during her 8,000 years of isolation. "They don't hunt conscious beings," Ren explained. "They hunt technological signatures that exceed certain parameters. The Lumina, having merged completely with their technology, couldn't separate the two. But humans can." The plan that emerged was audacious. While most personnel evacuated, the Constellation members would remain with Aya. They would shut down all advanced technology, making the base appear abandoned and primitive. Then, using only the neural connection, they would attempt something never before tried: direct communication with the reaching dark. "It's suicide," Vega argued. "It's our only chance," Ren countered. "If we run, we just delay the inevitable. They'll keep hunting advanced civilizations forever, unless something changes." As the evacuation ships departed, leaving the 9 volunteers alone with Aya on the nearly empty base, doubt crept in. They powered down systems one by one until only basic life support remained. "What if we're wrong?" Ellis whispered as they gathered in the crystal chamber for the final time. Ren took her hand. Around the circle, the others joined hands as well. "Then humanity will know what they face. Our sacrifice will give them time to prepare." Outside, the storm winds of Kepler-9 howled across the golden dunes. Above, the darkness approached, growing larger with each passing hour. In the chamber, 9 humans and 1 ancient alien consciousness prepared to make their stand, not with weapons or shields, but with the unique bridge they had built between different ways of being. Together, Aya's voice echoed in their joined minds. "This is what makes humans special. You never stand alone." The reaching dark arrived silently. From orbit, it appeared as nothing more than a shimmering distortion, like heat waves rising from desert sand. It descended through Kepler-9's atmosphere without resistance. a void moving with purpose toward the powered-down research base. In the crystal chamber, the constellation members sat in complete darkness, connected physically to each other and mentally to Aya. Through her perception, they sensed the approaching entity, not as a threat, but as an ancient consciousness, utterly alien to their own. Ready, Aya's thought touched each of them. Remember, it perceives technology, not life. Be still in body, reach out in mind. The temperature in the chamber dropped precipitously as the reaching dark passed through the base's outer walls as if they were mist. Systems that had been powered down failed completely, their components decaying at an accelerated rate. The very molecular structure of advanced materials began to unravel. The humans shivered but maintained their circle, eyes closed, focusing entirely on the mental bridge Aya had helped them construct. Through this connection, they extended not fear or defiance, but something uniquely human: curiosity, empathy, a desire to understand. At first there was no response. The dark continued its methodical dissolution of technology, moving inexorably toward the crystal chamber. When it breached the final doorway, the humans felt Aya's momentary panic, the instinctive fear of a species that had fled this entity for millions of years. Trust, Ren thought to her and to his fellow humans. This is what we do, we connect. As the darkness enveloped them, time seemed to stop. Each human experienced what followed differently, yet shared it through their connection. Talia perceived mathematical patterns of impossible complexity, the dark's fundamental nature, expressed in equations that stretched beyond three-dimensional understanding. Ellis sensed something like a biological imperative, an ancient directive to maintain cosmic balance. Mako understood it as a system, recursively self-correcting according to parameters set at the universe's beginning. Ren, whose connection with Aya was deepest, perceived something else: loneliness. The reaching dark was singular, ancient beyond comprehension, carrying out its purpose without companion or counterpart for billions of years. Through their joined consciousness, the humans offered not resistance, but recognition, not submission, but understanding. They acknowledged the dark's purpose while conveying something it had never encountered: the possibility of change, of finding new purpose through connection rather than consumption. What happened next defied later explanation. The crystal blazed, with golden light that did not diminish the darkness, but somehow existed alongside it. Two utterly opposed forms of consciousness, one preserving complexity, one reducing it, held in temporary impossible balance by the unique neural patterns of 9 human minds. In that suspended moment, understanding flowed both ways. The dark perceived humans not as technological threats to be eliminated, but as something new, biological entities capable of forming bridges between disparate forms of consciousness. The humans glimpsed the dark's ancient origins and the wounded universe it had been created to heal. Then, as suddenly as it had come, the darkness receded. It withdrew from the chamber, from the base, from the planet, not fleeing, but departing with newfound awareness. The humans collapsed, physically exhausted but mentally expanded beyond their previous limitations. "Did we succeed?" Ellis whispered, her voice hoarse. Ren opened his eyes, which glowed faintly golden in the dim light of the crystal. "We did more than survive. We were understood." In the weeks that followed, as human ships cautiously returned to Kepler 9, the full implications became clear. The reaching dark had withdrawn not just from this system, but had altered its cosmic trajectory. For the first time in its ancient existence, it had encountered something that challenged its purpose. "It's still out there," Ren explained to the her assembled council, "still fulfilling its function of containing runaway technological advancement, but it now recognizes the difference between technology and the consciousness that creates it. It sees the value in our particular form of awareness." "Because of what you showed it," Vega said, his previous skepticism replaced by wonder. "Because of what makes humans unique," Ren corrected. "Our adaptability, our empathy, our ability to bridge differences. Aya's people merged with their technology so completely they couldn't separate the two. The dark couldn't perceive them as anything but a threat. But humans, We use technology while remaining distinctly apart from it. We can be the bridge between different forms of consciousness. The revelation transformed humanity's path forward. Rather than merely adopting Lumina technology, humans began developing their own approach, one that preserved their distinctive consciousness while advancing their capabilities. Their 17 colonies became beacons in space, not just of technological achievement, but of a new kind of cosmic diplomacy. The constellation continued its work with Aya, whose knowledge combined with human creativity spawned innovations never imagined by either species alone. But more importantly, they began preparing humanity for its new role in the cosmos, as intermediaries between ancient intelligences that had never before found common ground. Years later, when humans made contact with their first living alien, civilization, methane-breathing engineers from a system 40 light-years distant, they came not as conquerors or competitors, but as connectors. Where other advanced species had provoked the dark's culling response, humans facilitated understanding. Ren stood on the observation deck of humanity's first diplomatic vessel, watching the stars with eyes that still carried traces of golden light. Beside him, in a specially designed crystalline housing, Aya's consciousness hummed contentedly. "Did you know?" he asked her. "When your ship crashed on that lonely planet, did you know what would happen when humans found you?" No, her thought came warm with affection. "But I hoped. 8,000 years I waited, sensing distant echoes of your species' development. Something different, something new. Not more advanced," Ren mused. "Just different. That difference saved." "Just both," Aya replied, "and perhaps in time we'll save many more." Around them the ship pulsed with healthy light as it carried humanity's greatest gift into the stars. Not technology or knowledge, but the simple, powerful ability to reach across. The void and form connections where none existed before.